good morning. Welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. So today we're getting to something you guys have asked for a long time by popular demand. We are finally going to be painting these silver wheels black. I have new shoes ordered for Project PJ here as well. Painting these rims black, that's going to look really slick. I'm going to take you guys through the whole process I'm going through to get a good durable coat of paint on here that won't chip and scratch off. I'm going to go through the prep and painting in 7 easy steps. And why I chose 7, I have no idea. I just made that up, but let's get to it. Here I've got all the supplies laid out that I'm gonna need. Obviously our paint, this is a good flat black I'm gonna be using, some automotive primer, and some undercoating. We'll get to that. I got a little special surprise about this undercoating. And for the surface preparation, I've got a couple different grits of sandpaper here. One of these is 320, the other is 220 if I need to get a little more aggressive. Some maroon Scotch-Brite pads, and these are about 400 grit. And you really need to sand good to get a good adhesion of the paint to your metal. And some tape, a mask, a wire brush. This is going to help with my cleanup, prepping the surface. This will just make the job a lot quicker than the sandpaper, but this can't get in all the nooks and crannies. So that's everything I think I need right there. And this video is sponsored by Pick Auto. I've used their seat covers on a few different projects in the past, and I've always been super happy with the quality and their price. This is a carbon fiber sports seat cover, just in a nice black. Has a nice carbon fiber sitting area and neoprene on the sides. They're very durable. This will last me a number of years. As I said, I've used them in the past. Always been super happy with these seat covers. Be sure to check out their link in the description below. I usually add a couple of my own bungees or zip ties to get a nice tight fit. I'm gonna start out by taking all 4 wheels off, because that's going to make it just easier for me. You can do this with the wheels on the vehicle. It's a bit more of a pain, or you can take them off one at a time and do them. But in my case, all 4 are coming off. All right, we got all 4 tires out, and don't forget about the spare. Very first thing we need to do is we need to clean all the brake dust and grease and grime off the front and back side of the wheels. Here I'm using some Purple Power. This has great grease cutting properties. I'm gonna just soak everything down before we pressure wash it off. Front and back side. Alrighty, got these washed up pretty nicely. And actually, as I was pressure washing, you can see some areas that silver paint was already starting to come off. So let's take care of the rest of that. Now to save myself some time, I'm gonna use my wire wheel, see how much of this paint we can get off with just this. You know what, on my rims, this little plastic center hubcap will come off. And to save myself some prep time, there's just 3 little bolts on the back side here. And yeah, that little center cap comes off. That'll make preparation a little bit easier. So that just comes right off. I need to clean this up again though real quick, so I'm gonna do that and we'll have everything prepped. And what I might actually do, I might leave these little center hubcaps off, like my 94 YJ there. Has the same rims, but no center little cap. So it's going to be a lot easier doing it without these caps on here. What do you guys think? Should I go through the time and trouble of painting and prepping these plastic caps, or just leave them off? Now, because I'm getting new tires, I'm really not worried about nicking the tire with my wire wheel a little bit. If you're not getting new tires, I'd recommend, getting sandpaper and going around the edge along here, keeping the wire wheel away from the tire. And also, I don't have to get every little bit of paint off of this. Just need it all nice and scuffed up and smooth. So I'm just going to go around and touch it up a little bit with some 320 grit sandpaper. This is turning out pretty good so far. All right, I've got all the surfaces cleaned up and sanded, wire brushed off really well. I didn't get every little bit of paint off because I don't need to. I just need everything scuffed up, any loose bits of paint scraped off, obviously. Then I went ahead and did a quick vacuum, blew it off, hosed it down one more time, dried it off. Now I'm taking some wax and grease remover. This is just prep for paint. You can use like rubbing alcohol or something else that'll just take any little bits of grease or wax or fingerprints off so that we get a nice, good coating of paint on here that sticks and lasts. So I'm going to wipe this down until my rag comes away clean on each tire or wheel. Now we are almost ready to paint. In my case, like I said, I'm getting new tires, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint. I'm not gonna worry about getting overspray onto the tire at all. But if you are keeping your existing tires, one common practice is to take note cards and tuck them in around the edge here. That'll protect your tire from overspray. These are a little big, smaller 3x5 cards that work just fine, but I'm not even gonna do that. Another thing you can do, you can take a little bit of painter's tape, go around the edge, run a bead of tape all the way around the edge, but I'm not doing that either because I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna paint because I'm getting new tires, which I'm excited about. And the other thing you gotta watch out for is your valve stem. I'm getting new valve stems as well, so I'm gonna get paint on those. I don't care, but cover those with a little bit of tape if you're not getting new tires and valve stems. So here I've got my automotive primer. We're gonna hit it with a real light coat on all the rims. Get a light coat of automotive primer on here because we got down to bare metal, and we're gonna shoot it from a few different angles. Just a light coat. You don't need a heavy coat at the beginning here. We're just trying to get a little bit on there for a nice preparation. That looks just fine. And I'm kind of holding the can a bit far away right here. After just a couple minutes, we're gonna go ahead and get a second coat on here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the painting mask on because fumes are starting to build up a little bit because I don't have the shop door open because I'm trying to film, and when the shop door is open, it interferes with the lighting, yada yada. But anyways, now we're gonna go on to our flat black acrylic enamel. We're gonna hit it with a couple of coats of this. We want to get this on there before the primer is completely dry. It says on the instructions you have to do it within an hour, so let's hit it now. So we're just hitting it with some real light coats, giving it a couple minutes to dry in between. All right, while the wheels are drying, they're looking good. We're gonna move on to this surprise undercoating, and we're gonna use that black undercoating to hit underneath the fender flares, this surface all along here. We're gonna get that painted black. That'll just give it a lot cleaner look. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my maroon Scotch-Brite pad. This is like that 400 grit. I'm just gonna rough up the surface a little bit to give the undercoating something good to stick to. Now, I don't have great ventilation in the shop right now. Got the shop doors all closed, so I'm gonna be using my mask. We're just gonna hit this with a couple coats of the undercoating. I've got it prepped, sanded, wiped off clean, so we're ready to go. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Let's go to the tire store and get some new shoes for OJ. We're back from the tire shop. These new tires look amazing on this Jeep, but I have one issue. Our new full-size spare does not want to fit on this existing mount. I need to raise these studs. I think if I raise them up just 3/4 of an inch or so, as high as they go, I'm gonna drill new holes and then weld those in, and we'll be up high enough to clear this bumper. So just a little bit of work to do. All right, we got the holes all drilled out nice, ground off a little bit down to bare metal so we can weld this up. Coming together pretty nice. Hopefully the tire fits. I think it will. I think raising this up about 3/4 of an inch, about as high as I could go. It'll be just enough to clear the bumper. We'll see. All right, the final moment, the final check. Oh yeah, perfect. Got about a 1/2 inch clearance on the bottom. Get a couple bolts on here, a couple nuts, so this doesn't fall off on me. We are done, and I have to say I am super impressed with the look on this. Do me a favor, if you are one of the viewers that commented on one of my previous videos saying, Dale, paint them black, leave a comment down below and say, you're welcome. Because with your guys' advice, I love the look of this. We've got our brand new 31-inch tires, 31 inches, which is just enough, not too big for the lift this has on it. It has about 2.5 inches of lift. These are 31, 10.5 inch. Rims are 15, obviously, and I think it's a great look, much more aggressive tire. This is gonna grab the off-road a lot better than the previous pizza cutters that I had on there. And I got the inner fender flares painted with a little bit of that bed liner for protection, but also to get rid of that orange paint that was under there, that orange paint look. So with this tire, 31 inches, I think that's about as big as I could go with the lift that this Jeep has, but boy, I think this turned out excellent. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your comments. Check out my next video right up here and have a good day.